consistently negative person. So the positive guy one day found something he thought his friend could not find a negative thing about. He found himself a bird dog that could actually walk on water. So they go hunting. They hit a bird, it falls into the water. Up jumps a dog, walks out onto the water, gets the bird and brings it back. The positive guy just thinks this is so cool. He's smiling, he looks over at his friend, and he sees that his friend is frowning. So he's not sure what's going on. So they hit another bird, it falls into the water. The dog jumps up, walks onto the water, grabs the duck, and brings it back. So the positive guy's like, wow, this is the coolest thing. He's just brimming, smiling ear to ear. Looks over at his friend, and his friend is muttering under his breath and still frowning. So he can't take it anymore. He looks at his friend and said, do you not notice anything about my new dog? And his friend replies, yes, I do. I only notice one thing. Your dog can't swim. So perception plays such an influential role in every aspect of our lives. And this is no truer than in business. The idea that you will be successful if you build a better mousetrap is simply not true. It's not the product or service that makes you successful. It's the consumer who buys your product or service that makes you successful. Let me give you an example of a company who tried to make a better mousetrap. Coca-Cola. A few years ago, they had spent years researching, developing, and testing a new formula. When they thought they had this thing perfected, they launched a huge marketing and advertising campaign that was never seen before at that time. This new product was called New Coke. I think we all know what happened to that. It was a dismal failure. 3 weeks into the campaign, Coca-Cola realized that this thing was not going anywhere. They were actually hurting their brand. So they rolled back the campaign and refocused it on classic Coke. So this is just one of the examples. In marketing, the product simply isn't the most important thing for your success. What is the most important thing is the perception your customer has of your product. If perception is more important than the product, then how do you sell your product? You have to offer the potential customer the perception of a satisfied desire. The customer isn't buying the product. He or she is buying a product in hopes of satisfaction. And the higher the perceived potential of this satisfaction, the greater your success. So how do you create that perception in your consumer's mind of this desire? You do that in 3 ways. The first way is you have to find that single attribute that is unique about your product that your competitors do not have, and that also satisfy that desire in your potential consumer. Once you have that unique attribute, you have to convert it into a brand mantra, a USP, a unique selling proposition. With that USP, you then aggressively take it to market and continually drive it into your consumer's mind. So by the end of the day, that consumer immediately, without thought, identifies your product with that value proposition, with that desire, that potential to satisfy that desire. So let me leave you with a case in point. A few years ago, there was a beer manufacturer that came up with a tagline. It went something like this: our beer is the coldest. It's brewed at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, the consumers heard that and they thought, wow, it's got to be cold. It's brewed at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It's got to be the coldest, it's got to be the freshest, and it's got to be better than any of the other products out there. Well, when the competitors found out about this, they cried foul. Because guess what? All beer is brewed at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But it didn't matter. No matter what they said, it didn't matter because that company had done such a good job of positioning that brand promise, driving it into their consumer's mind, so the damage, or should I say benefit, had already been done and could not be undone anymore. Thank you.